was Jungkook's basketball match, one of the biggest ones of the month. You were running late, scribbling down the last few notes before closing your notebook and tucking everything neatly into your bag. With a quick sigh, you stood up, fixed your uniform, and headed toward the basketball court. You didn't step inside though. Instead, you stopped near where you could clearly see the court. Jungkook was already there confidently, fast and full of energy. His hair was slightly messy, sweat glistening on his skin, and his eyes were sharp with focus. Every time he moved, the crowd screamed his name. He was the most popular boy in school, handsome, athletic, and loved by everyone. Every girl had a crush on Jungkook, but no one knew he was secretly engaged to you. Your parents and his were best friends, and they wanted you both to get married after graduation. That's why you loved him deeply, maybe since childhood. But the painful part was that Jungkook had never said he loved you back. He treated you kindly, like always, but never more than that. So you never pushed him. You were lost in thought when, boom, you flinched, turned around. Oh my god, Kim Sol, you scared me. Kim Sol laughed, holding her stomach. Why didn't you go inside? The match is almost over. Exactly, it's ending anyway. I will just watch from here. She smiled and stood beside you. Both of you watching as the referee blew the whistle. The crowd erupted. Jungkook's team had won. He raised his hands in victory. His smile is bright. You couldn't help but smile a little too. You wanted to go and congratulate him. You stepped already moving forward, but you froze because before you could reach him, the most popular girl in school, Somin, ran toward Jungkook and hugged him tightly. The sight hit you like a punch in the chest. Jungkook looked surprised at first but didn't push her away. Your heart sunk. Wow, I think they like each other. You clenched your jaw and looked away. Let's go to class. Before she could say more, you turned and walked off, pretending the pain didn't exist. Later, you sat in the classroom, pretending to focus on your notes. The door opened, and Jungkook walked in. His usual smile returned as he spotted you. Hey, why didn't you come to see my match? I didn't see you anywhere. You kept your face calm, voice steady. I didn't realize the time. I was busy making notes. Oh, it's okay. He smiled softly and sat on the chair beside you. Kim Sol turned to her with a knowing grin. Hey, why did you lie to him? You froze for a second, not answering. Jungkook looked at you from the corner of his eyes, clearly hearing her words. But he didn't say anything. He just gave a small smile and turned back to his book as if he understood that you didn't want to talk about it. That night, you lay in your bed, the lights dim, replaying everything in your head. Somin's hug, Jungkook's smile, Kim Sol's words. You felt a heavy ache in your chest. Why did he let her hug him like that? You whispered to yourself. Your phone suddenly blinked, a message from Jungkook. Are you coming tomorrow for a lunch at our house? You stared at the screen for a few seconds before typing back a simple yes. His reply came seconds later. Good. You frowned slightly confused why he suddenly cared so much about lunch, but brushed it off. You put your phone down, turned off the light, and tried to sleep. The next afternoon, you arrived at Jungkook's house with your parents. Both families were sitting in the living room, chatting happily. Your father looked proud, talking about the future and how much he trusted Jungkook to take over the business after him. You came from a wealthy family, your father owning multiple businesses. Jungkook's family was well off too, just not at the same level. Still, both families got along perfectly. And their dream was to see you and Jungkook together. When your father was talking about handing over his business to Jungkook, you noticed Jungkook's expression change. He didn't look happy, he looked confused, but you couldn't understand why. You thought maybe he wasn't happy with this decision, but you didn't say anything to him. After lunch, you came back home. The next morning, school felt normal, or at least it started that way. You sat quietly in the classroom beside Jungkook, both of you working on your notes from the previous lecture. Pages filled with neat handwriting and highlighted lines. The quiet sound of pages turning filled the air, and for a while it felt peaceful. But not for everyone. Across the room, several eyes were fixed on the two of you, especially Somin and Songa, two of the most popular and beautiful girls in school. Both had crushes on Jungkook, and both couldn't stand the sight of you sitting beside him, laughing softly whenever he made a small joke. Their expressions were pure jealousy. You didn't notice any of it. You were too focused on your notes, but the others did. Whispers started spreading through the class, little murmurs about how close you and Jungkook seem lately. After a few minutes, Jungkook stretched his arm and sighed dramatically. Ah, I'm done. Oh god, how much are we studying these days? My brain's melting. You giggle quietly. Well, exams are close. You should be thankful you even have notes to study from. Right. Anyway, I'm getting my banana milk. You want your strawberry one? You nodded with a small smile. Yes, please. Got it. Don't move. They grinned and walked out of the classroom. Somin whispered something to Songa, both exchanging knowing smirk. You smiled to yourself, closing your notebook and preparing to keep it in your bag. That's when it happened. Out of nowhere, splash. Cold liquid hits your face, dripping down your uniform, your hands, and your open notebook. You froze, eyes wide in shock. Your perfectly written notes were ruined, pages soaked with milk. You slowly looked up, and there she was. Songa stood a few feet away, an empty milk carton in her hand, smirking. How dare you spend time with Jungkook? He is mine. From now on, stay away from it. Got it? Her voice was sharp, filled with arrogance. Everyone around gasped, eyes wide at the scene. You just stood there, trembling slightly, your uniform clinging to your skin. Milk dripping onto the floor. You looked down at your ruined notes, the ones you spent hours making. Your heart aches. Tears welled in your eyes and fell silently down your cheeks. Before you could even say a word, someone's voice roared behind Songa. How dare you do this? Songa turned, her confidence vanishing instantly. Jungkook stood there, holding the drinks in his hands, both crushed slightly from his grip. His jaw was tight, his eyes filled with pure anger. What's wrong with you? How cheap can you be? Songa froze. I was just what? The entire class fell silent. No one had ever seen Jungkook this angry before. He threw the empty milk cartons aside and stepped closer. Without another word, he took your hand. Come with me. You wiped your tears quietly and followed him out of the classroom. Behind you, whispers erupted. Did you see that? Why did Jungkook defend her like that? Are they dating? No way. They have been friends since childhood. But he looked furious. No one knew the truth, the secret engagement, the quiet bond you both shared. Jungkook led you to the bathroom, still holding your hand gently. When you reached the door, he stopped. Go inside and clean your uniform, okay? I will wait here. You nodded silently, not trusting your voice. Inside, you stared at yourself in the mirror, the wet uniform, your red eyes. You whispered to your reflection, voice trembling. I never hurt anyone. Then why do they treat me like this? You clench your fist, anger and sadness mix inside you, burning deep in your chest. But you said nothing more. You just cleaned yourself up quietly, drying your sleeves with tissues until the wet patches faded a little. When you stepped out, Kim Sol came running down the hallway, eyes wide. Oh my god, Ryan, your uniform is still wet. Before you could answer, Jungkook stepped closer, a concern written all over his face. He looked at your soaked clothes, frowning deeply. Without hesitation, he took off his coat and gently placed it around you. You will catch a cold, wear this. You looked up at him, speechless. His coat was warm, his voice soft, and for a moment it felt like everything else despaired. Kim So smiled quietly, though her eyes flickered to the end of the hallway where Somin and Songa stood, watching with jealousy burning in their eyes. Jungkook's single gesture had made them furious. You, meanwhile, said nothing. You just held the coat close and followed Jungkook quietly down the hallway. Your heart confused, hurt, but somewhere deep inside it fluttered. At night, after dinner, you sat in your room with a smile on your face. You looked genuinely happy because today Jungkook protected you and took your side in front of everyone. A few minutes later, your room door opened and your mom entered with a glass of milk. When she saw your smiling face, she asked softly, "What happened today, Ryan? You look so happy." You sat on the bed excitedly and told her everything that happened, from Songa's behavior to how Jungkook stood up for you. At first, your mom looked a bit sad hearing about Songa, but then her expression softened into a smile when she heard how Jungkook protected you. "I'm happy that you both support each other." She stood up, kissed your forehead gently, and said, "Sleep on time, okay?" Then she left the room, leaving you smiling to yourself. But you didn't realize that this happiness was only for tonight. The next day, after your lecture ended, you and Kim Sol walked together toward the cafeteria. When you stepped into the cafeteria, your heart dropped. There he was, Jungkook, sitting at a corner table with Somin. She was laughing loudly, her hand brushing her hair every few seconds. You stopped mid-step. For a moment, everything around you faded. Kim So looked at you with concern, whispering softly, "Ryan, are you okay?" You didn't answer. You just forced a small smile and moved to an empty table at the corner. Sitting down quietly, you tried to calm yourself, pretending you didn't care but your chest ached. Then Somi noticed you. You saw her smirk. Her behavior became even more exaggerated. She leaned closer to Jungkook, played with her hair, and laughed at things that clearly weren't funny. Every move screamed that she wanted you to see her with him. She looked away, clenching your face under the table. That's when Songa appeared out of nowhere, her heels clicking against the floor. She stopped right in front of your table and bent down, placing her hands on the surface and smirked cruel and mocking. "So, Ryan, yesterday you were so happy, right? When Jungkook insulted me and defended you." You stared at her silently, your jaw tight. "Well, guess what? If he's not mine, then he's not your either. Look over there." She pointed toward Jungkook and Somin. "See how happy he is with her. He doesn't even look at you. So do yourself a favor, stupid girl. Stay in your limits." Her words cut deep. You were already hurting, already trying to hold yourself together, but this time something inside you snapped. Before she could say another word, your hand moved on its own. Smack! The sound echoed through the cafeteria. Gasps filled the room. Everyone turned to see what happened, and there was Songa, froze in shock, one hand on her cheek where you had just slapped her. No one expected that from you, that quiet, polite girl who never raised her voice. Your voice shook, but it was steady enough to listen the entire cafeteria. "Please, now close your mouth, and if you ever come near me again, I swear I will kill you, even from afar." Songa's eyes widened, speechless. Across the cafeteria, Jungkook had stood up, shocked by what he had just seen. He had never seen this side of you, the anger, the pain, the fire in your eyes. He took a step toward you. But before he could, Somin suddenly gasped and fell dramatically to the floor. "Ah, my foot. I think I twisted it. It hurts." Instantly, Jungkook rushed to her side. "Hey, are you okay?" "It's really painful. I can't move my foot." She winced dramatically, clutching her ankle. Without hesitation, Jungkook said, "Hold on. I will take you to the nurse room." He gently lifted her in his arms and carried her out of the cafeteria. The sight made your heart crumble all over again. You quietly picked up your bag, ignoring the whispers around you, and walked out of the cafeteria. Outside, you sit on a bench, letting the wind brush against your face. Tears slid down your cheeks, one after another, until you couldn't hold them back anymore. Moments later, Kim Sol came running toward you, worry written all over her face. She sat beside you, placing a comforting hand on your back. "Fine, hey, calm down, okay? Don't cry. Listen to me. This is your moment. You need to talk to him. If Jungkook really likes you, you will know. But if he likes Somin, then you have to let him go. Don't keep hurting yourself like this." You wiped your tears with the back of your hand, breathing deeply. "You're right." You gave her a small, shaky smile. "I will talk to him." "That's my girl." You stood up slowly, straightened your uniform, and took a deep breath. Your heart was pounding, but your steps were steady as you started walking toward the nurse room, ready to face the truth, no matter how much it hurt. You walked down the quiet hallway toward the nurse room, your heart pounding louder than every step. Each echo of your shoes makes your thoughts grow heavier. What if Jungkook say he doesn't like me? What if he likes Somin instead? You swallowed hard, gripping your bag tightly against your chest. You whispering to yourself, calm down, Ryan. Think positive. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe I'm overthinking. You had loved Jungkook since childhood. His smile, his warmth, his kindness. But after your parents started discussing marriage plans a few months ago, that love only grew stronger. You began to imagine a future with him, to dream of being the one standing beside him forever. And now you were terrified that the dream might break before it even began. You stopped in front of the nurse room and took a deep breath, your hand trembling as it reached for the handle. The door was half open. You could hear faint voices inside. You hesitated, then slowly leaned forward to push the door open, and that's when you froze. Your heart dropped. Inside, you saw Jungkook and Somin standing far too close. Before you could even process what was happening, Somin leaned forward and kissed him. Time stopped. You covered your mouth, eyes wide, tears instantly blurring your vision. Your breath hitched as the scene in front of you burned into your memory. The boy you loved, the boy you were supposed to marry, kissing someone else. Your words shattered in seconds. You didn't wait. You turned and ran. Your footsteps echoed down the hall, your tears falling faster than you could wipe them away. Meanwhile, inside the room, Jungkook immediately pushed Somin back, his expression dark with anger and disbelief. What the hell are you doing, Somin? Are you out of your mind? What? I know you like me, Jungkook. That's why you spend time with me sometimes, right? Let's are dating. Jungkook's eyes narrowed. His voice was low but sharp. Don't cross your limits. I thought you were a mature, good girl. I didn't know you had do something like this. But you, enough. I would never date you. Don't ever try this again. He grabbed his bag from the chair, still furious, and stormed out of the nurse room, unaware that you had just seen everything. You reached home without saying a single word to anyone, went straight to your room. Once inside, you locked the door and leaned against it, finally letting the sobs escape. Tears streamed down your cheeks endlessly. You covered your face, your heart breaking into pieces you didn't know how to put back together. You whispering through your tears, why Jungkook? Why did you do this? You had trusted him, loved him silently for years. And now it felt like everything had been for nothing. Minutes turned into hours. You stayed locked in your room, crying until your eyes burned. Your mom knocked on the door, her voice soft and full of concern. Fine, sweetie, what happened? Are you okay? Please open the door. She didn't respond. She couldn't. Worried, she took out her phone and called Jungkook. Jungkook, did you and Fine have a fight? She locked herself in her room and isn't talking to anyone. And Initius replied quickly, no auntie, we didn't even talk today. I don't know what happened. After ending the call, your mother sighed softly. She knew you need time. So she decided to wait, hoping you had come out once you had calmed down. Inside your room, the tears eventually slowed. Your pillow was wet, your eyes swollen, but your mind had gone numb. You stared at the ceiling, the image of that kiss still playing over and over again like a cruel movie. And then your phone buzzed. Jungkook's name flashed on the screen. He was calling you. You stared at it for a long moment and let it ring out. You couldn't talk him, not yet. You weren't ready to hear another lie, even if it wasn't one. Taking a deep breath, you whispered to yourself, first, I will talk to him, and after that, I will refuse this marriage. You sat up, taking a shaky breath. You walked to your bathroom, turned on the shower, and let the hot water run down your skin, trying to wash away everything you felt. When you stepped out, you looked at yourself in the mirror. You didn't look like the girl from this morning. You looked like someone who had finally reached her breaking point. You unlocked your door quietly. Your mother immediately appeared, worried edged on her face. Fine, are you okay now? She forced a small smile and nodded. I'm fine, Mom. I just needed some time. She wanted to ask more, but she respected your silence and left the room gently, closing the door behind her. You sat in bed looking out the window, the night sky silent and heavy. For the first time, the love that had always felt like a beautiful secret Now felt like a wound you weren't sure would ever heal. The next morning felt heavy from the moment you woke up. You barely slept, your eyes were still puffy from crying. But you didn't want anyone to notice. You had breakfast quietly with your parents, forcing a small smile whenever your mom looked your way. Without saying a word, you grabbed your bag and left for school. When you reached the classroom, Jungkook wasn't there yet. You didn't want to face Jungkook not yet. You need more time to steady your heart, to stop it from breaking every time his name crossed your mind. You let out a quiet breath of relief and sat in your seat. Moments later, Kim Sol arrived and sat beside you, immediately noticing your tired face. Fine, are you okay? Did you talk to Jungkook? You shook your head slowly. No, not yet. Before she could say another word, the door swung open. Jungkook walked in, his expression seriously searching. The moment his eyes met yours, he walked straight toward you, not caring about the curious eyes following him. Fine, what happened? Why didn't you answer my calls or messages? You avoid his gaze, keeping your voice calm and distant. I was busy. Then you stood up and walked toward the door. Ryan, wait. He hurried after you, catching up in the hallway. His hand gently grabbed your wrist, stopping you from walking away. Please talk to me. Tell me what's wrong. Why are you ignoring me? You sighed heavily, finally turning to face him. Your voice trembled, but your words were firm. Don't worry, I will talk to our parents soon and tell them to cancel the marriage. After that, you will be free. You tried to walk away again, but Jungkook stood there, shocked, his grip tightening silently. What are you saying? Why are you doing this? You looked at his hand holding yours, then back at him with teary eyes. Because I know you don't want to marry me. You like someone else. So I will clear your way. Someone else? Who do I like? Somin, she said softly, your voice breaking. Yesterday, I saw you both in the cafeteria. The way you talked, the way she looked at you, both seemed like a couple. And in the nursery, I saw you when you kissed her. A tear rolled down your cheek. You quickly wiped it, embarrassed, but Jungkook's expression turned from confusion to shock. You saw that and you just believed it? He ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. Fine, you don't know what actually happened. You stared at him, silent, trying to stop yourself from hopping. Yes, I liked Somin once. I had a crush on her before. But when our parents talked about our marriage, when we got engaged, everything changed. My feelings changed. I realized I didn't want anyone else near me but you. He took a step closer, his voice softened now. I still talk to her, but only as a friend. I never give her special attention. Yesterday, she crossed the line. She kissed me without my permission. I pushed her away and left, I swear. You blinked in disbelief. You just tightening. His words sounded so sincere, but a part of you still trembled in fear. But you never said you loved me. Jungkook, you always keep the distance between us. You never make me feel like I am someone special. Jungkook sighed deeply, guilt flashing in his eyes. That's not true, Ryan. He paused for a long moment before finally saying, I love you. I only love you. You froze your lips parting in shock. But I thought I wasn't good enough for you. You belong to a family much richer than mine. Before our engagement, we were just best friends and we spent time together freely. But after that, I got scared. I didn't want you to think I was only close to you because your father handed me his business to manage. You felt your heart ache at his words. Who said I would ever think like that? Jungkook, I love you. I never cared about your status, your money, or anything else. I just wanted you. Jungkook's expression softened completely. A small smile curved his lips as he reached up and gently wiped your tears with his thumb. Okay, then from now on, I will never let you cry again. I will stay with you always. You nodded slowly, your heart finally feeling lighter. Jungkook smiled wider and pulled you into a tight hug. The hallway felt silent, students walking by stopped in their tracks. Eyes wide with surprise, no one had ever seen Jungkook, the most popular boy in school, hug anyone like that. But he didn't care. He held you close, resting his chin on your shoulder. After a moment, he pulled back slightly, still holding your hand. Come on, let's go to class. You blushed but nodded. Together, you walked back toward the classroom, hands intertwined. When you entered, the entire class went silent. Whispering filled the air instantly. Are they dating? I told you they were secretly together. They look so cute. Somin and Songa sat frozen, their eyes wide in disbelief. One student finally spoke up, half joking, half curious. Jungkook, are you guys dating or what? Jungkook turned to look at everyone, his smile calm but confident. He paused for a bit. She's my fiance, and we are getting married after graduation. Gasps filled the room. Everyone stared, even you. You looked up at him, surprised beyond words. You hadn't expected him to say it out loud like that. But Jungkook only smiled down at you, squeezing your hand gently. For the first time, you weren't his secret fiance. You were the one he proudly claimed in front of everyone. Somin and Sunga looked away, their faces pale with disbelief, while the rest of the class cheered quietly, whispering how beautiful you both look together. You smiled shyly and sat beside Jungkook as the teacher entered, your heart still racing from the what had just happened. Days passed quickly. You and Jungkook studied hard for your exams, helping each other late into the night. Laughed more, smiled freely, and every day felt warmer with him beside you. When exams finally ended, you both graduated side by side, just as your parents had always wished. And 1 year later, you stood before each other again, this time in a wedding hall decorated with soft white roses and warm golden lights. Jungkook looked breathtaking in his tuxedo, and you in your elegant wedding gown, the same boy and girl who once sat shyly in class, now ready to start a new chapter together. As the priest announced, you may now kiss the bride. Jungkook smiled, leaned closer, and whispered, told you, I will stay with you always. And this time, you believed him completely. Together, you began your new life, one filled with love, trust, and all the happiness you both had waited so long for.